Cinema.
Welcome back to War with Cinema. I'm your host, Greg, your local metalhead, and with me is...
Par the Collector. What's up, everybody?
And you gave me The Fifth Element.
The Fifth Element, man.
You gave me one of my movies.
This is like... I love this fucking movie, bro. I'm not even gonna...
I'm actually kind of surprised, but not at the same time.
Well, first of all, you know how much I love B. Willie, bro. Like,
Right.
You just know this. And I love this almost because, like, dude, this is like one of the... This is a movie that he would never do. You know what I mean?
Today, no.
Well, I mean, even for that time, like when he was... I feel like he made this when he was still relatively at the top of his game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was definitely, yeah.
It's like fucking Die Hard in space. I love it, dude. Like, this is... You know what I realized watching this last time? What is she doing?
Nothing. My wife is texting me, mocking me, because she can hear me in the other room, and she's like, welcome back to War with Cinema. This is your host, Greg. Like, she's literally just texting me the fucking podcast, so...
Shout out to Kendra. She's hilarious.
Yeah, my fucking wife gives me a hard time.
Ashley does that shit to me too. Hey, everybody's part of the collector. Shut up.
She wrote it in text of I'm part of the collector, but she did like uppercase, lowercase, lowercase.
She's like taking shots to that shit. Like she's just waiting for it. Like on cue. That's good.
But anyway, Fifth Element. So when did you see this movie?
Okay,
First see
man.
this movie?
My dad took me to see this in theaters, man, because I loved Die Hard at 10.
Mm-hmm.
And anything with Bruce Willis in it, I watched. Last Boy Scout, we had that bitch on VHS.
I'm surprised that was one I didn't see in childhood.
Really?
Yeah.
And like I said, we've even done the review on it, but Last Man Standing, I saw that movie young. I love that movie. Like, that's probably that and Die Hard and the one he did with Haley Joel Osment.
Sixth Sense?
Mercury Rising.
No, not The Sixth Sense.
You know what? I'm sorry. You're right. That is Sixth Sense. This is a different kid, I think.
Oh, okay.
But he looked kind of like him.
Right.
But anyways, that kid has autism and like he witnessed a murder or some shit or knows a pattern or whatever. And Bruce Willis is like a down on his luck cop and like he's like the only person left to like keep this fucking kid alive so they can like solve the case.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
It's
one.
a really good movie. I like it. But yeah, like I saw all these around the same time period.
Yeah, because
like,
you fucking loved Bruce Willis.
Yeah, and I just
know what? I liked Bruce Willis, but I didn't like seek his movies out. It's like, oh, that movie's in it and that guy's in it, so let's watch it.
It's one of those times that I feel like it was more like just an echo of because that was what my dad loved. Because my dad loved Bruce Willis too, and it's surprising how many of his movies I saw in theaters like when they came out. Like,
yeah.
Even Hudson Hawk, like, you know,
That's surprising.
I know it hasn't aged well and all that, but my dad,
there are people that fucking love that movie. Yeah. I found out,
but my dad is one of those fucking people. Like, when he showed me this movie, like he was more excited to show me Hudson Hawk than he was to show me a Die Hard movie. Like that's how much he loved Hudson Hawk. He was like, this movie's funny as shit. Watch this. He loved the fucking candy bars, man. The CIA people, he loved that shit. Like, he's like, what's this big motherfucker named Butterfinger? But yeah, so like I said, this is another, like, it's not a nostalgia, but it's a nostalgia movie because, like, I still love it now as an adult.
Yeah.
I fucking think it's aged like wine. Like,
this, if you didn't see this movie and I gave it to you, I think you would still love it. Like, it's that kind of movie.
Well, I mean, it's just like little nuances you pick up. First of all, Gary Oldman is the best villain of all time. It doesn't matter what movie it is. If he is the fucking bad guy, that shit goes hard. Mm-hmm. And he fucking nails it.
He can even put on a fucking like hick country accent in a fucking sci-fi movie and it fucking works.
Dude, and you know what's crazy is he goes back and forth in it. Because some of it he's got the country shit and then the others it almost sounds like he sounds like he's talking all with his front teeth. Yeah. Like a Jimmy Stewart type shit. Like, it's so good, man. Mm-hmm. And then the fucking hair. And he's got the robotic limp. This guy's a fucking quadbillionaire in the future. Has more money than God. Literally owns everything. And he's still got a fucking magnetic, like a robotic limp. Like,
I could see him being like, I need this like plastic thing on the side of my head.
I need like a satellite dish hooked around the back. Yeah. And I got to sound like I'm from old Alabama or I can't do it, guys. Yeah. I can't do it. I have to be able to feel this character the way I see it. And Luc Besson, man, like I think this is his like first fucking movie, dude.
This was a movie he wrote when he was 16. Did you know that?
That is fucking even more insane. Like,
yeah, he wrote the movie when he was in high school and it didn't get made until he was like 38.
And I mean, his wife, Mila Jovovich, so sexy. She stars in this. I think this is like one of the first movies I ever saw her in.
Yeah, I think it was mine too.
She kills it. But yeah, like, I love this movie. It's an absolute banger.
Yeah, this is one of those movies, like, my dad had a few movies that he would watch on repeat, or we would rent all the time. I don't remember if we had it or he just got it from Blockbuster a lot, but I just remember this movie always being on.
Right.
And I fucking love this movie. Like, as a kid, this is like the perfect action movie for a kid.
Oh, it really is. Like, I was thinking it's kind of like Star Wars, but kind of like say it's not kid friendly, but it's not like
it's PG-13.
It's not real bad though. You know what I'm saying?
You get
like,
the titty. That's it.
Yeah, I'm saying like you could still show this to teens. You know what I'm saying? 12 to 15 or whatever. But I don't know. It's just a fun like swashbuckling adventure type thing, man. Mm-hmm. And then Chris Tucker is gold in this fucking movie. I was watching it today. This might be like my second favorite movie he's in, man.
Swashbuckling means pirates. There's no pirates in this movie.
Is it really? Swashbuckling means pirates? Yeah. I guess that makes sense. Well,
that's why I said swashbuckling in the Kroll review, because they like fight with swords and shit. It has that like, they're not pirates, but they have that whatever. But yeah,
okay. We'll retract swashbuckling and replace it with another adjective that's similar.
Okay,
to this. A space epic.
There you go.
There you go. Or it's like cool. It's like an edgier Star Wars, or like if like a galaxy far, far away didn't go right. Actually, it's kind of a nice little fucked up future that we probably have coming, because he's like, oh, the buildings are way up here. And then like, if we make it through the fog, we'll live. Like, and that's where all the poor people live, I would imagine. Or like, that's the old Earth that's all fucking polluted out. We can't stay there anymore.
I can see that happening, yeah.
Giant fucking McDonald's. Everybody lives in a fucking closet. The shower and the bed and everything just comes out of a wall.
Shit, I'm sure they have that shit somewhere here now.
Oh, I'm sure people in Japan and China and shit are living just like that right now. Like, they pack them people in there.
They do.
Just the sheer size of the population. Like, I can only imagine what a one building.
Yeah, they are stacked on top of each other.
Apartment building in China, probably how many people they have in there would be.
Yeah,
insane.
they can hold their arms out and touch each side of the wall. That's how small their apartments are.
I would be claustrophobic as a motherfucker.
Yeah, that's too much. I can't do it.
I would be a bum. Like, I'd have to live outside.
Yeah, right.
I'd be a stray.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the look of the movie. It's got a very cool soundtrack. Like, it's just, I just remember thinking back then how cool it was. And like, like I said, I watched it yesterday and I still just like, it's so fucking cool. Man.
Yeah,
like,
same.
You know,
the music was really good. It has that one opera, iconic scene that everyone remembers. Yeah. But
that lady kills it. I don't know who she is in real life, but like, she kills it.
There's actually a I don't remember her name, but there is a Chinese/Japanese Asian woman that sings that song and almost hits it, besides those like techno parts that are obviously
with the dancing while she's singing it, man.
Yeah, right.
She's and then she had all that shit inside of her too, which is even more fantastic. Like I love the mongrels or whatever they're called, the
bad guys.
Yeah, well, they're part of the bad guys. They're the minion type bad guys, but that's still a great scene.
They're the pirates.
Yeah, pretty much. They're the space pirates. Mm-hmm. So it is swashbuckling. Space buckling.
They're not using swords and shit. They're shooting each other.
A real killer? Would check for that little red button at the bottom.
Yeah.
That's a good scene. I don't want to jump around anymore. Corbin Dallas, former military hero, down on his luck. Now he's a fucking cab driver and moonlights as like a bootlegger for this guy named Finger, who I'm assuming they serve together or whatnot, but he's like the shady figure. You never even see what this fucking guy looks like.
Yeah, he's only on the phone call.
But so yeah, he's like, how many points you got left on your license? He's like 50. He's like, you need to get better at lying. He keeps calling him Major, and then it shows his medals and stuff like that. And then we
decorated,
right, and we get like a little peek into how like what kind of person he is, because in the future everybody has a security camera on their door, because I would imagine people are on tough times, they'll just rob you. So he goes to open up the front door to leave to go to his work, and dude's there and they're robbing with like this futuristic shotgun
in this fucking silly hat that you're supposed to hold against the
peephole, because it shows that it's like the size of the screen, so it makes it look like the hallway's empty, but I'm really out here with this big old gun.
That guy was great. It was such a small role, but I loved that character.
The fuck out on new age meth and shit. He's like, give me the money, man. That shit was good. You know, you gotta hit that little yellow button to load it. You want me to help? He finally gets a hit, and then he hears it unlock, or like hears it like power down. Space Gat to the side. Love it. That's a very dangerous gun. And then he hits a button, and then the thing comes down, and it's just full of guns that he's taken off people that have tried to rob him.
Right.
And it's a good thing because it shows you that like he's still a good guy, even though like he's had some tough luck, and then he gets into the cab.
It's showing he's not a person to fuck with. Like
that too.
You know, even though he drives a cab, he's still a fucking badass.
Yeah, I've killed more people than you know.
Yeah.
And it cuts back to the first opening scene is cool too, with the machines. Like the robot people, the Guardians.
Oh yeah. We did skip over that.
Yeah, you do. It's a really cool shot, and like I remember the first time I watched the movie, I was just like, "What the fuck? Where's Bruce Willis at? Like this makes no sense." And then you find out that they created her. She's like their last. They're like break glass in case of emergency. Like shit's over. Like we're about to die. Send her out.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like this perfect being, and she knows like all their shit, like all their history and all that. And they sent these 4 stones off because it's like the most powerful weapon in the world or whatever. And they sent her to get them, or she knows where they're at. Nobody else does, right? Except the Guardians, who are dead, and they get killed by the people that Gary Oldman sent. Which it's really bothered me. I can't remember their names right now. It's like the Mangarills or Mangarels.
You should have been ready for the podcast.
I know, man. Fucking up.
Yeah.
But anyways, so they get her out before they blow up, and that's where the movie starts.
Yeah. Well, it's just a hand that's left.
Oh yeah.
It's just a hand, and there's her DNA in it, which is really cool because they bring the hand back. And I guess they have technology that if you have the DNA, they can reconstruct you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's really cool.
That was cool. And then it just turns out to be a baddie.
Yeah.
Mila, which I wonder, like, that had to be her hair, right? Like, I don't know. But the dreads were cool. The orange dreads pop.
It works on her, yeah.
It really does.
This is probably one of the most cosplayed people, I would have to assume.
Yeah, now. Well, I don't know about now. Maybe not. So anyways, she's, in this fucking medical facility or a military facility. And I shout out to Debo, man. Rest in peace, man. Tiny Zeus plays the black president in the future. And when this movie came out, folks, we didn't have a Barack Obama yet. So this gave me hope. You know what I mean? And if he was as badass as Debo, like, I just wanted to watch him Debo.
I had to say, like, his acting in this role was not the greatest.
I mean, this is probably the most he's ever talked in any fucking movie he's been in.
That's true.
Like, he definitely had, like, more than 5 lines.
Yeah.
And he wasn't just knocking somebody the fuck out or holding a bat menacingly. Which, shout out, this is his second movie we've done in the last 4 weeks.
That's true, yeah. We got to do Friday next, I guess.
Oh, man, I love Friday.
Yeah, I do too.
It's one of those movies.
I watched Next Friday first.
Really?
Yeah, I watched Next Friday, and then I had to go back and watch Friday.
I saw them in order, but I remember when I was younger, I liked Next Friday more.
Yeah, same.
But
when you get older, you realize, like, Friday's
the best.
Better.
Yeah, it's the best.
So much better.
And then, crib it or not, I like the third one. It's like a fucking Christmas movie for me. Like,
if you don't take it too serious.
I actually watch it like around Christmas every year.
Really?
Yeah,
I've only seen it the one time.
I love Cat Williams and Terry Crews in it. They're both fucking hilarious. Money Mike and Damon.
Agreed.
That shit is too good. But yeah, so goes to Bruce Willis. He's driving his cab, and she breaks out of this facility because
they're like, it's unbreakable glass, and she punches right through that shit.
Right through it because she's a badass.
Yeah.
And you see that more into the movie. Because she's got all these like powers and shit, which is like really cool. But I was gonna say before I got into it, and I forgot to say it. Watching this movie around this last time, I'm adding this to Par's list of movies that should have got a fucking sequel. There is so much potential for a franchise for this movie.
You think so?
I think so, man. They end up together. You know what I mean? And
then what are you gonna do with them though?
They can do anything. It's the fucking space future. You could do anything. Bring Chris Tucker back, dude. Some more of them crazy fucking hairdos. And the cheetah print, man.
I don't know. I don't see it, but I think it's an enclosed story.
I don't know, man. I think they could have. And
I hope you never get into fucking Hollywood. You're perfect for these
every
sequels.
fucking franchise.
You fucking would too.
Nobody wants to see Guyver 2. I know a guy.
Guyver 2 is already a thing.
Guyver 5.
It's called The Dark Hero. And we're going to do it eventually.
I would say it can't be any worse than the fucking first one.
It's better. But
Probably
anyway.
if they put some like actual like story or acting. Mark Hamill was the biggest actor they had in that movie, and they fucking wasted him.
He phoned it in, though.
Yeah, he had some debt in the 90s. That's all I can figure, because like that mustache made me uncomfortable.
So Mila Jovovich, what is it? Lilo is her name. I forgot.
Yeah, Lilu.
Yeah, and she jumps off the building and lands right into Bruce Willis's car.
I love that they kind of like. There's always, it seemed like a cliche thing back in movies, but like whenever somebody's about to jump off a bridge or a window or whatever, they're always like, "Turn around, put your hands up," and like,
and then they just run away.
She didn't understand me.
Fun fact: the language she speaks is a made-up language for the movie.
Yeah,
she had an easy time grasping the movie because she already spoke 4 languages.
Yeah.
How fucking crazy is that?
I don't think she spoke English very well when she did this movie, though.
Really?
Or maybe she was just that good at acting. But
I think she's just that good at acting.
I feel like I remember, could it be a possible fun fact that I feel like I read that she had just started?
Maybe. Possibly.
Or maybe it was him he didn't speak English, one of them. Because he's French or some shit.
I think you're thinking of another movie.
Maybe. Anyways. So he's driving his cab and she crows through the top of it. Yeah, I know. I keep looking for my Mountain Dew.
You keep reaching over for a Mountain Dew. There's something there.
You got that. You're just like looking at me, drinking it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Big bada boom.
Big bada boom, bada big boom. And he looks at her with that Bruce Willis 90s smile. And it's just like, I know how you got Demi. Like, I see how you did it.
You know, this movie did remind me how much I used to like Bruce Willis. Like, I love him in this movie.
He kills it, man.
He is so good in this movie. And I just wish he would have kept up with that charisma through his career.
I think that's the problem, though, man. Like, whenever you see movies like this with him and they're just that great, it's only because, like, he got it exactly what he wanted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then when he got older, people got tired of his shit, and then he was just doing anything for money.
Yeah.
Because, like, I'd say, like, I mean, he still do a couple big time movies, but he was doing more B shit than he had ever done.
Right. But I just go back and because I always give you shit about liking Bruce Willis, but then I go back and rewatch these movies that I grew up on that I love. Like, I fucking love The Fifth Element. And I love him in this. I love him in this.
He's the fucking king of the 90s, man. Action movies.
Right.
Like, kills it. And you know me, man. I'm a huge fucking diehard fan. I love that series. I'll even defend the 5th one. I don't give a shit. You showed me John McClane fucking shit.
I actually really like the 4th one.
The one with the one with Justin Long is
I really like it.
Other than the original, I think it's my favorite.
Yeah.
Like, other than the original.
It's just a lot of fun.
And it was so cool because it was a different kind of story. You know, like, not only was he getting to do his cool badass shit, but like he needed the other guy. You know, and like I didn't know John McClane needed a sidekick, but Justin Long killed it.
Justin Long did such a good job, yeah.
Between that and Waiting, that's what really made me like a Justin Long fan. Like, I was just like, wow, this guy is good.
Yeah, anytime I see or the Zack and Miri Make a Porno, that little cameo, he kills that shit.
Do you like porno? Yeah, I fucking watch porno all the time. I was watching porno before I got in here. He's like, do you like big fat cocks in your porno? He's like, no. He's like, well, then you haven't seen me. Yeah. And dude, doesn't Superman play his fucking boyfriend in it? What's his name? Adam
Driver?
No.
Henry Cavill?
The one before him.
I don't know.
Brandon Roush. That's it. Yeah. He only did Superman Returns, which is like the 3-hour.
I have never seen, fun fact, I've never seen the Superman movies besides the Zack Snyder Supermans.
The Christopher Reeves ones are more like nostalgia.
I just never have been a huge Superman fan, so I just never got around to watching them. I don't care that much.
I like Superman, but I get it, like, because he is kind of like that superhero. It's like, fuck, this guy's got everything. Mm-hmm. One thing out of everything. You know?
Right.
But I don't know. I think if he's written like the comics that I really enjoy, like they're written very well. And they always find a way. Like Zack Snyder, I felt like at least he tried to do something fucking different.
That's why I was excited for Man of Steel, but
I love Man of Steel. I think it's the best Superman movie made. Personal opinion. And I've heard rumblings now that Discovery's taken over that they might bring Snyder back to do Man of Steel 2.
Oh shit,
should be dope
if they can give him full creative control. And I don't know, I think he needs somebody to like rein him in a little bit.
Yeah,
he needs a sidekick like David S. Goyer or something.
Yeah, they do good work together. But anyways, so she drops in his cab and they do it's an awesome police chase, and it made me want McDonald's because the cops are getting McDonald's. And he zooms by him and fucking spill it all on him. It's a cool scene. And because he works for that shady dude Finger, like he's got a jammer, so they can't figure out like who he is. Like, but that's probably one of the only things I didn't think about this time. Is like he had the scrammer jammer or whatever that they couldn't tell who his ID was, but the fucking taxi knew every time he didn't use a turn blinker and would take a point off his license. So I don't know how that worked.
Yeah, right. It's a little inconsistent there. The cab company knows who you are, but the police don't.
Right. And then like, you have no point. And he just yanks that bitch.
Rips that bitch out. And then he goes on that awesome space car chase.
I love when they go straight down through the traffic and she fucking falls on the partition glass. And he's like, I'd like to talk to you, but could you shut up?
But it is real, like you said, like that's the one part of the movie that really shocked me as a kid, because they go down under and there's no humanity left. Like it is just fucking toxic. Fumes. You can't even like survive down there. And I was like, man, this is what the world's coming to. Like I really felt that.
And like when people wanted to go to vacation, they had to go to a fucking vacation planet, like pretty much. Like it was like a gigantic fucking ship that people just chilled at.
It's Elon Musk's ship.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Got good opera on it though. So he takes her because she keeps saying this priest. So.
Yeah, and he looks him up at the phone book and finds him.
And forget the dude's name, but he's a good actor too. Ian Holm. He played Jack the Ripper in the one with Johnny Depp.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh, is that him? I haven't seen that. From Hell. Yeah.
From Hell, yes. That's a good one. Because you don't see it coming.
Yeah. I think I usually don't like it when they do twists or like, because you have these movies that like Zodiac, they didn't know who the killer was.
Right.
So at the end of the movie, you don't really know who the killer was. So I didn't like that they gave it a definite ending, but I didn't hate it. I felt that it made a good story.
Well, I think I thought it was cool because they did it kind of without having to do it. Like Johnny Depp found out who he was, but he had a fucking heroin overdose. And they didn't tell anybody. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like and then Hagrid without the beard comes in and puts the little coins on his eyes. So it's a good one. It's not like the greatest movie, but for a Jack the Ripper movie, I felt it was
I liked it. I've always liked that movie.
Johnny Depp's in there giving it 100 like always.
Yeah.
But yeah. So they find the priest, and how crazy is it that the Billy kid or David, sorry. How much is that crazy is it that David looks like a bootleg Ezra Miller? Like I kept thinking that when I was watching him in this movie.
Does he?
I thought so. I mean, that could just be me.
Yeah, I think it's just you.
Not like get those all time, but like not his acting, but like how it looks, like his face.
No, I get that. I think you're just stuck on him.
No, I think he looks like him from Fantastic Beasts because he got that fucked up haircut in the first one.
Yeah.
I think that's what made me think of it. But anyways, so she's eating full-grown chickens out the microwave, and because she's been asleep and she's hungry as fuck, so she's like tearing through shit.
She was dead,
and she was learning. She's learning everything.
Yeah,
like
Short Circuit.
Yeah, it was cool.
I got Short Circuit vibes hard when she was doing that.
I love how she was like going through all the words and like love's a good word. It's like Bruce Willis having to actually act a little bit. Like I believed that shit back then. So they find out that these stones, and like he needs to find them, and they're like, oh shit, these people killed you, and that's when it cuts to a fucking another great scene, and we're introduced to the antagonist of the movie, which is Gary Oldman's Zorg. Multi-billion, quadrillionaire, fucking space cowboy, fucking gangster.
Yeah.
Cutthroat.
Yeah, he's an arms dealer, and he gets all these guns to give to these guys that supposedly were supposed to get these stones.
The guys from the beginning of the movie. They blew up the Guardians and took this case. Well, they pulled the old switcheroo Because first of all, like, you went through all that trouble. You murdered a whole mass of people and planet and all that shit, but you didn't look at it. Like,
I guess, but he asked for a case. He didn't ask for what was inside of it.
That's true, and they were morons, so that made sense.
Right.
That's good.
One thing from my childhood, I remember this gun to this day. Like, for some reason, this always stuck out to me, this fucking gun.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't have anything to add to it. I was just like, I always think about this stupid fucking gun.
What, the potato that fucking turns into
it's a potato.
The ZR-54 or whatever. Yeah, that thing's badass. Like,
right.
I want one.
Right.
It's like fucking net launcher, ice breath, fucking flamethrower.
I like the repeat bullets. You
Oh,
shoot
dude, that was
once
cool.
and they all follow.
Dude, he sprayed the fuck out of him, and all the bullets are showing. That was cool. That's a good CGI for back then too. 4 cases for 4 stones. 0 cases, no fucking stones. And he's like, we risked our life. And he's like, so you are merchants after all. He gives him a case. And him and his little right-hand man walk outside, and he's like, you know what I like? A cold, methodical, calculated killer. You know, a real killer would have asked what that little red button was at the bottom of it. And then they're like, oh, they're just fucking around with him, trying to figure him out. And old boy just, fucking beep. My boy just lights his
Blows
cigarette.
them the fuck away.
And find me the priest.
Great costume design, though.
Yeah, dude, left field is shit.
Yeah.
Like, even for, like, the year 3055 or whatever the fuck they were going for, I was like, still, that's above its time. You know what I mean? So he brings the priest in for like interrogation, and he was saying like, with a little destruction, knocks the glass off. It's a good little metaphor, you know. All these little robots come out, and you know all that shit. And he's got this like fucking thing that like hangs out at his desk. It's like a pet, but like
it looks like a tiny elephant.
Right. It's like a whatever, but like, so he goes to eat this fucking.
What is that thing? Now that I think about it, like, what was it for? Because it made me think of the Flintstones. Because I feel like they had something similar.
Well, I think he was just like, it was like a pet of his, but like,
because when he was choking, that thing was laughing at him.
Because he's like trying to get it to like get help or something. I don't fucking know, but like, he's like pointing to his fucking neck like the thing's gonna save him or something, you know. And then the old man comes back with the great rebuttal. Where's the little robot to come
pat you on your back,
save your life?
Yeah.
And he just fucking whaps him one time and spits the fucking cherry onto the little alien thing. And he's like, "You saved my life, so I'll spare yours." And just waves him the fuck off. And he's like, "You're a monster, Zed." Dude, he's just the best fucking villain, man. I'm telling you.
He is the shining moment in this movie. There's so many shining moments in this movie.
I was gonna say, like, I just think this movie, like, if you told me it like on paper 10 times, I would say 10 times, like, this movie ain't gonna work, bro.
Right.
It's not gonna be a good movie.
But it's so brilliant because it was written by a kid, so you have all that, like,
he just, like, you know, because it does feel like a 15, 16-year-old kid just fucking blew
and then as you're an
adult,
when you have all the technique,
the benefactors, the funding,
and the talent, like, you know what you're doing.
I just want to know how he sold Bruce on that shit. Like, were they just smoking a joint one day and he's like, "I'm telling you, man, this is gonna be great for your career, but I can't do a good French accent, but you get it." And then like Bruce was like, "Oh no, man, it doesn't sound like it's gonna be that good." And then he's like, "You see my fine ass wife over there? She's gonna be the co-star with you. See those dreads? Those are real. They're gonna sell." And he's like, "Fuck it, man." By the end of the party, they were just like best friends, and they were like, "You know what? Let's go make a fucking space movie, bro." And he said something in French, and Bruce was like, "I don't know what that means, but fuck yeah." They made magic, bro.
Yeah, they did. This is definitely one of those cult films that most people that seen it when they were kids still love it.
So, Bruce drops her off to the priest, and like, you know, he gives us what little bit he knows, and he's like, "Hey man, I lost my job and this and that." He's like, "Well, I'm sorry about that, but there ain't nothing we can do for you." And they just kind of kick him out. So he goes back home and he's eating lunch, and I thought this was probably the coolest thing about the future, like the fact that the Chinese restaurant came to him.
Yeah.
And like, you think he's at like a bar or something.
It has some like Blade Runner vibes to it.
Yeah. And it turns out this dude's just on like this like barge type deal. Like, you know, it's like a float or a flying restaurant, you know? And he's like, "Don't you check your mail?" And he's like, "It's never anything good." He goes, how do you know that? He goes, well, I got mail once. He goes, it was my wife leaving me. He goes, I got another letter that was telling me that I lost my job at the military or something.
No, shit. It was my lawyer telling me that he's running around. He's quitting and he's running away with my wife.
He's like, I bet it's good news. He goes, I'll bet your lunch on it.
Lunch.
He goes, you haven't been fired.
Yeah.
He's like, well, at least I won lunch. He tosses him a fortune and here's the knock at the door, and it's his old military contact. And he's like, hey, Corbin, we need your help, Bubba. The president needs you to get out there and fucking James Bond this shit that only you can do. He's like, man, I'm fucking retired. I can't do this. Like, thank you, but no thank you. And then he sees old girl come see him. Because I don't know why she went to him.
Safety. I think what it is
he saved her, and she just thought he was cool.
You know how you, like you have a dog. I'm not comparing her to a dog. I'm comparing the instincts to a dog. But like you have a dog and they know if someone's a shitty person.
Right.
And they know someone's like a good person. I think that's what she has, is she just knows he's a good person. That's what I got from it anyway.
Maybe.
He can help her.
Nope. I remember what it was.
What?
He won those fucking tickets on the radio.
Yeah, but she's not going there for some tickets.
No, but they brought her because they knew that she would let. Because remember, he opens it and the old man fucking hits him or some shit.
Yeah, I think what it is that she just like feels comfort in him because he's a good person anyway. But yeah, they
duped her into it. That's pretty much what it is, because she's still learning shit and everything. But anyways,
I do like that she like slowly learns English throughout the movie.
Yeah,
like little by little. I don't know.
She's a fast fucking learner. Mm-hmm. So he's like, don't you ever check your mail? He's like, you won a contest. He's like,
yeah, the fucking mom. It's like an ongoing joke.
He's like, did you rig the contest? He's like, yeah. And then his mom, so you don't know that you're going to Floston Paradise for all expense paid trip on the Roddy Route show and all that shit. And Mom, I'll call you back. I got fired. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Hangs up the phone, and then that's when they show up. And then he sees she's there, so he stuffs them into his fridge. Major, we're not all going to fit in here. And he's like, yeah, you will. It's very cartoonish. There's a couple parts of this movie that are very cartoony.
Yeah.
When Debo fucking hits the Roach listening device, I love how the headphones just like go off his head, just like a cartoon. You know what I mean? That, and then like when he stuffs them in the freezer, I felt that was very cartoonish because he gets the ticket and they're all frozen and shit.
And that's why I said it's good for kids, because it does have those like cartoony moments. It's like a live action cartoon.
Yeah, I would say like this is like the perfect teenage movie. Like,
yes,
yeah. But so he accepts the mission without accepting the mission because the priest busts him over the head with like some military award he got or whatever. And he wakes up and he's like, fuck. He looks at the back of his head. He looks at the award. Like, it's just a good Bruce Willis reaction. And so he's like, I'll take the fucking job or whatever. And
are they dead? In the freezer?
No, because you see him later in the movie.
Oh, okay.
But I think that's what I was going to say. That's like very cartoonish.
Yeah, when he grabs the ticket from him, he's like, I'll accept the mission. And they're like frozen.
And he just shuts the fucking door back. It's gold, And the fact that he fit 3 grown people in one tiny fridge, like that too, like what makes it very Looney Tunes-ish. But it works in this movie.
It does, yeah.
And I love when they go to the airport. The airport's just covered in fucking trash.
Yeah, like, the lady says, sorry for the trash. I'm sorry. The trash. Sorry.
Corbin Dallas. Shout out to Steve-O, man. I remember he did that shit so good one time when we were talking about this movie, because we were just talking about how great Fifth Element was. Because Steve-O, like, if you don't ask him, he ain't gonna tell you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you ever seen the Fifth Element? He's like, Corbin Dallas.
Shout out to Steve-O.
Shout out to Steve-O. He's great.
Anything super sci-fi he's into.
And so like Billy like takes his multi-pass and like he's gonna be Corbin Dallas, and of course he's got no backbone, so Bruce Willis shows up in the nick of time.
Well, first wasn't it the bad guys,
no, they're the last
space
ones,
pirates,
aren't they?
No, the guy that Zorg sends is the last guy, the black guy.
But before,
first it's the Zorg, and he can't hold it together because they can change into human form. They don't really explain it, but like,
but I'm guessing they can't hold it very long.
Yeah, so he starts morphing back. But yeah, then it's the Bruce Willis and the priest.
I think they go first, and then they're after, aren't they?
Nah.
Either way, and then they jump into the fucking trash to get away. And so Bruce Willis, I am Corbin Dallas.
Yeah.
And then she shuts it. I'm sorry. The fucking guns come out. You need to back the fuck up. Put your arms in the yellow things or whatever. And I was just like, even in the future, man, they just jam you up. They just jam you up, man. Whether it's robots or cops. It was really cool because and he's like, we got to take off, but we got to get rid of the, I forget what they call them, but like those dudes are underneath the spaceship. And he's like, hitting a blunt.
It's some fucking Jamaican.
And then like this other dude, he's like a fucking, like just a.
I think it's the fuel. It's like nuclear fuel that they're changing out, but they have like bugs in the tires.
It's like these big old like hairballs that squeal and shit.
And what's really funny is, so he's like, we need fire. So they have to take fire to get him down. But really, do you remember those things? Back in the day, they had these like little balls that had rotating things and they would kind of shake on the ground.
Yeah.
So they just wrapped them in whatever and put them across the ground. I thought it was pretty funny.
But I love it because he lights his blunt with the flamethrower and then he just gets them all down. We got fire.
Oh, Rasta. That's what I was trying to think of. This like Rasta character.
Yeah, shit goes hard. And then they load the nuclear fuel into it, and then he goes in there and he gets put asleep, and then that's when he gets to meet Chris Tucker.
I need that machine in my life.
I know, right? Good
like
night, sir.
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good at falling asleep, but every once in a while I need melatonin. But I need whatever that was that they had in that machine that just puts you to sleep instantly.
I am so good at falling asleep. Like I am the fucking master of falling asleep.
I'm aware. We were talking about it on the last podcast how you just go to sleep in movie theaters.
I go to sleep anywhere.
Yeah.
I go to sleep right here if I wanted to.
I'm kind of envious of that.
Mid-sentence.
I have to be like in my bed at the right time.
I could sleep on concrete, bro. It has. I have no issue with it at all.
It's because you have 2 kids and fucking run you ragged.
Yeah, that could be it. And
I think when you're a father, you do develop that strategy to just be able to fall asleep whenever. Because I remember at any fucking, I was gonna say Thanksgiving, but any fucking holiday, the men in my family would all fill up the chairs in the living room and all pass the fuck out.
Oh, yeah. Put the game on.
Yeah.
5 minutes. Go to change it. I'm watching that.
Yeah, right.
That's the best part about Thanksgiving. Fill yourself to the rafters and then get a good itis nap afterwards. Yes. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think it's between that and just like my work schedule. Like if I make it past like 9 o'clock, it's a miracle, you know?
Right.
Unless I'm out doing something or whatever. But yeah. So we get Chris Tucker, who is like the biggest radio DJ like in the world.
He's basically a podcaster.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's basically like a Twitch streamer / podcaster. Like
in the future, people listen to everything like right on the minute, you know, right then and there.
But like I was talking about before, shining moments. Chris Tucker is definitely a shining moment in this fucking.
I love his microphone cane. Yes. That is so fucking cool.
Everything about it. Like he's a cross-dresser. Nobody questions it.
Because only Chris Tucker can pull that shit off like that, man. He's got so much swag in this movie too, and like you think he's like going to play a gay guy, but then he bangs that fucking stewardess right in the middle of the air, you know?
He has the most charisma I've ever seen in a person. Like I said before, I wish I would have seen him in more movies, but he just, like you said, he's asking for too much money, but...
And I mean, you know, I feel like everybody has that time where they're hot or they're, you know, at the top or whatever you want to call it. And I mean, he had his, and like you said, because he was so good and made so much money, like he just got to the point where he was like, I don't need to do this shit anymore.
I guess, but so much talent.
Mm-hmm. Because that's why he never did another Friday. You know, they asked John Witherspoon, the one that plays Craig's dad, before he died. They were like, you know, why Chris Tucker never came back? He goes, Chris Tucker was making $20 million in Rush Hour. He's like, Ice Cube wasn't paying that.
Yeah, right.
He's like, he'd give you an opportunity. He's like, but you ain't getting paid like that. And he goes, Chris was like, this is what I'm worth. And Ice was like, good luck to you, brother. I'm not paying you that shit.
Yeah.
And I mean,
go make your paper. You're just not making it here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and that he's probably like, if you think about all the people that Ice Cube has brought out, like, or not to say brought out, but elevated their careers. Right. Terry Crews, Cat Williams, John Witherspoon, Mike Epps. I mean, shit, who was Mike Epps before Day Day?
This is true.
You know what I mean? But if you think about all those people, Chris Tucker's the only one that had a career before that.
That's true.
Because if you look at Friday, it's not Ice Cube's first movie, but it's the first movie that he's the star in.
Right.
I'd say Three Kings was probably the closest he had came before that, and Boys in the Hood, which I love him in Boys in the Hood. He's got a great role, but he's not the main character.
Right.
Same thing with Three Kings. Friday was like, not only that, but like we'd all, like till that point in my life, I thought Ice Cube was a fucking gangster, like stone cold killer. Like that's how he rapped, you know? And this is the first time he ever did comedy too. So it kind of worked. Like, and I don't think anybody ever realized how good it was going to be.
Yeah, that's true. It did come like as a surprise, but definitely a cult movie now.
That movie probably couldn't have cost that much to make.
Oh no, I think it's a shoestring budget.
And it's a fucking hood classic. Like people love that movie.
It is the creme de la creme hood classic.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know what it made, you know, but I'm sure I know it made some money on fucking DVD and video because I had that bitch. I had all three of them on VHS growing up. But now Chris Tucker fucking kills it. Like I said, I think the only movie I like him more in than this, and it's only by a little, is fucking Money Talks. I love Money Talks. That's like my favorite Chris Tucker movie with Charlie Sheen.
Yeah, I was just trying to remember if I've seen it or not.
You may have, but
Probably.
it's one of those, like, it's not a great movie, but I just love it so much because I think he's fucking gold. Everything he says in that movie is fucking gold. He called me Snap Crackle and Puckles. I will snap and crack your ass in the mouth. Sometimes I slap the shit out of people and be like, damn, why I do that?
But yeah, he's great in this movie as this announcer, I guess.
Come here, my man. Come here, my man. So they meet, and he's like, thinks he's going to get bad on Bruce Willis because he's like, you know, he's like, how does it feel to be here? And he's like, good. Or whatever, you know. And tomorrow, from between the hours of 5 to 7, I need you to act like you are alive. And then he like grabs him off the ground, and he's like, yeah, so between the hours of 5 to 7, you are going to talk to your fucking self. So they're at the big Met Gala, and I love that he's got like an entourage, and they all match what he's wearing. Like when he shows up to the thing, they all got their shit dyed the same color, like their suits, everything.
It's Yes Man to the extreme.
Oh yeah, I mean, and like after the big battle, and they don't know where he is, they're like, "Oh my God, where's Rush?" And like they're all freaking the fuck out. Where's our meal ticket? Like just little nuances about it that's so good. So they go to the hotel room, and they're like, the Empress will meet you after the show, and you need to go and all that. So he gets all dressed up nice. And
one thing that I found was so weird is so this is opera singer, and they treat her like royalty, like the way she comes in, and I found that very like, what is she?
Well, because like she was an opera singer, but it was kind of like a cover, maybe, because she was super important because these guardians trusted her to give
with
her
the stones,
right?
yeah.
So obviously she meant more to the universe than what she was just like. Yeah, she was a singer, but it's just kind of like bigger than that.
That's the only thing I kind of like I noticed about this movie is like she's treated very important, but they don't really tell you why, other than she carries the stones, obviously, and like you said, she's obviously important.
Someone they trust, and that, you know, them being like an older civilization, I just assumed she was somebody important too.
Right.
Maybe not just a singer. Maybe she was a queen or something.
We need to watch Dune. I don't know why. This just made me think of Dune because they kind of have a similar part in this movie or a similar part in that movie.
So they're on the ship, and you find out that one of the space pirates survived the explosion.
Yeah.
And they all go to get revenge because they're going to get these fucking stones.
Well, he's like the head honcho, right?
Right.
Yeah.
He was the one that was doing the negotiating with Zorg.
Yeah.
And of course, he's the one that lives. So he takes the rest of his people, and they're going to go get these stones, and then they're going to fuck Zorg over. You know, that's like what they're going to do. So it's so cool, man. This woman sings this beautiful fucking song. You know what I mean?
Like I was telling the wife, I wish this would have turned into like a genre of music.
I know,
like
right? I'm
opera,
really surprised
techno.
it didn't, you know?
Yeah.
So she sings this beautiful song, and then it has an awesome breakdown. It's just got everything, and then boom, she gets shot in the fucking gut, son. It's so sad. She even cries blue.
Yeah.
Like it's super sad.
It is sad.
She's like, the stones, they are inside of me.
Well, they say they're in me, and he's like, what does that even mean?
So he like literally digs these bad boys out of this chick's like gun wound.
Yeah.
Which, how'd she? Never mind. I'm not gonna get into it.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering too.
She
Like,
takes
how
it,
did
but
she
it-
get them in there?
She's
Swallow?
Different. I mean, she's an alien. We don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe
she could have absorbed them
we
into
don't
her
know.
body.
We don't know. I'm not gonna act like I understand alien biology. They were in there though, comfy.
It's a great action scene though.
It really. Oh, I was just about to get to that, man. The fight scene. This is what brings the movie together. Like to me, man. Him and Chris Tucker's comedy during it when they're under that fucking table, count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shit's blowing up, and he's like, we gotta kill the leader, and he's like, how do you know which was the leader?
Oh no,
they never do anything without their leader.
Right, because he's like, they're trying to negotiate. He's like, have you ever negotiated before? He's like, nah, it's my first time. He's like, well, we just have to kill the leader. And that's like we said, they won't follow anybody without the leader. So he walks in and just fucking shoots him in between the eyes, and they all don't know what the fuck to do.
They just drop their weapons. Hilarious. Or he's so like, great. How many are out there? He's like, 4 on the left, 3 on the right. And he goes out there and shoots 2 of them. And he's like, 2 on the left, 1 on the right.
Yeah.
It's really cool because it shows like how badass, Bruce Willis is.
Yeah, I do love how they sprinkle in just to show how much of a badass he is. Yeah.
It's just a cool shootout. He's diving over bars, under pool tables, throwing bombs on shit. Like, it's just a cool fucking scene. Mm-hmm. And then, like I said, the comic relief with Chris Tucker in it because he does not belong in that shit at all. And he's like, come here. It's just great, man.
And when he's holding the gun to the alien's head. Accidentally shot. I didn't mean to. He's trying to put the blood back in his head.
The way he does it, it's just so fucking funny.
Gold, yeah.
So they get the shit back or whatever, and they get the stones. Well, Zed gets on the ship.
Zorg,
sorry, I keep saying that. Zorg gets on the ship, and then she has a badass fight with those two. I don't want to break that down.
Because
I don't want to skip over that.
And I do love how they synced it up with the music.
She's just fucking badass, bro.
Yeah.
And then they get her, or you think they got her. Mm-hmm. So Bruce gets to her, and they Zorg takes the case, which he thinks has the fucking stones in it. Yeah. And fucking shoots her, and then he dips out, but he leaves a little parting gift, this big ass bomb in it. Takes off. Well, Bruce Willis has to go and defuse the bomb. He does. And then they get out of there, and they got the stones, so they're going to go to the sacred temple where they can bring the stones together because that's what it is, because this big planet that's also a monster, it makes cell phone calls. Yeah, it's kind of like I didn't get it either. That's probably the one thing about this movie that just doesn't make sense to me.
All right, explain to me
the big planet thing that would like open up and turn like
so
red.
That was the main evil,
right? But like, where the fuck did it come from?
I think it was just supposed to be like a good versus evil story.
But I'm saying, wasn't that Zorg though?
No, that guy controlled Zorg because remember he did have that conversation, right. and he made him bleed.
Yeah, I do remember.
So some reason he got in contact with this main evil. But yeah.
Okay. Now it feels right. But anyways, so that thing's gonna fucking destroy Earth.
Yeah, basically.
So they have to use the sand, and then they have to use the water. Or not the water, they have to use the power. Sorry, I'm getting like Captain Planet over here because it's a great little thing. So they get to this temple, and I love it because when Zorg took the suitcase, it wasn't fucking the stones, obviously.
Yeah, it wasn't anything in it.
I think it was a bomb, wasn't it?
Well, I'm not sure if that was the same case, but now that you say that, it probably was the same case because he has a bomb and he has to defuse it with some little chip or whatever. But then the alien guy, the pirate guys, he activates a bomb and it comes out of the suitcase. But it might have been the same suitcase that he was looking at. I don't know.
No, it was because what's his name? Bruce Willis defuses the one at the place.
Right.
Well, Zorg finds out that he took nothing, so he goes back. Mm-hmm. And then that's when the dude drops the little bomb, and then he's like, fuck. It blows everything up.
Yeah.
So you think that the bad guy's gone, well, then that's when you realize that the planet is like, I guess, evil incarnate or whatever. They have to use this weapon to kill it. Well, there's 4 stones, one's water, one's earth, one's wind, and then one's fire. And of course,
and let our powers combine.
yeah, we formed Captain Planet. Now that would have been a super awesome origin story for a Captain Planet franchise. Don't say it wouldn't have. You just got to throw some heart in there.
Well, I mean,
which wouldn't have been hard.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, it's kind of what the Fifth Element. Like, she was the all being, but she needed heart to.
Yeah.
You know,
she needed the love.
Yeah, she needed love.
And she's dying and shit, and like they finally get all the stones to open up.
It was a cool little part because they didn't have to put that in there, but like they didn't know how to activate the stones, and they accidentally stumble on how to activate them. I don't know, so just like little stuff like that I appreciate in movies.
Well, it's because the priest's sidekick Billy,
or, David,
he's like, we're never gonna win, or
yeah,
and then he blows on it, and then like the little thing comes out.
Right.
They start. They figure it out.
Yeah, it's just a nice little touch.
And I love the little line that Chris Tucker has. He's like, I don't have a lighter. I don't smoke. Father, do you smoke? He asks the priest if he smokes. This is fucking great. And then like afterwards, she shoots the beam up and blows up the thing. And David's like, yeah. And Chris Tucker's, the hell's wrong with you? And slaps the shit out of him. Like, fucking gold. Man.
Well, the whole thing is the preacher or the priest, he says that the fifth element is the almighty being, but it's still fragile and it still needs someone to take care of her. So whenever
she's doing her learning thing on the way to the sacred thing, she gets to W and war, and she sees
she loses hope in humanity.
She watches what people have done to her, to each other, and and then of course at the beginning her whole people, they died, and it's just she just like
so she's like, what's the point? Because everyone's gonna kill each other anyway. And that's when he's like, because I need you. Yeah. And that's when she realizes like love is all, which I've watched 2 movies about. Love is everything.
He kisses her and then like she just
she turns into the fifth element. Yeah.
And then they're in there regenerating together, getting it on. The mom calls. Shout out to that woman. I don't know who it was.
Yeah,
for being just a small voice and a phone.
Yeah,
she
brought that character to life.
She really did. And then like Tiny gets on the phone and he's like, "Ma'am, I just want to thank you. I'm the president." She's like, "You can't be the president. The president's a moron. You don't sound like a moron." Yeah. So he just hands the phone, and then it's funny because that's how the movie ends. Is just like everybody passing his phone. Mother with the phone, and yeah, man, it's highly recommended.
Yes.
To put a Greg rating on it, and on the par scale, it gets a fucking 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
10 out of fucking 10.
It has no mistakes at all. It's a perfect movie.
In my mind.
Yeah.
In my mind. On this scale, it's a perfect. On the par scale, it's a perfect movie.
Yeah, it's definitely highly recommended. Like even today, this movie still holds up. Like it has some cheese, but if you can like accept it,
like what it is, I really wanted Brody to watch it with me, but like I don't know, man. It was kind of late, and I was like, yeah, he ain't gonna make
he
it. He
still can.
No, I'll probably put it on for him because I think he'd love it.
Oh yeah, he will love this movie.
Because, like I said, it's just such a cool story, and it's the perfect amount of action.
It's a live action kids movie, and what's funny about it is it seems convoluted, but it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like,
right? It's just fun.
It's just fun. Yeah. Like you get the gist.
Right.
They need to get these things to save the Earth,
right?
Or to save whatever it is.
And you got John McClane in space. And you got Chris Tucker just gold.
You got everything. Gary Oldman hamming it up as the evil guy.
And then Mila Jovovich. Like I said, this movie had to have set her career. I mean, I know Resident Evil was like her big thing, but like
those movies suck ass.
I really don't enjoy any of them.
I like the first one just because it's dumb fun, but after that, I can't watch them.
Actually, I'm different. I like the second one more than any of them just because I liked Mike Epps' character. I thought he was funny. And I just like the idea of the city, and then like they have to drop the bomb on the city to keep it, but it still gets out. I don't know, but they made 7 more after that. They're like Fast and the Furious movies at this point.
They are.
But yeah, I think she was great. This is my favorite movie with her in it by far.
Dare I say this is my favorite Bruce Willis movie?
I mean, that's fair. I mean, I'm not mad at you.
Yeah,
it's in my top 5.
All right.
Number 1 will always be Die Hard, but this is probably 2 or 3 for me. And
this might, I don't know. We're gonna watch it because it's gonna be our next pick, but it might be between this or the next movie. So, favorite Bruce Willis movie.
Oh yeah.
I just need to rewatch it.
Yeah, you did say that.
Yeah,
I'm interested in it because like this is another one that the next movie we're doing is like this one in the fact that it's not a movie he would normally do.
Yeah, it was very out of his wheelhouse.
I would say this was further. The one we're about to do next week would be further out of his wheelhouse than this was, only in the fact that like the guy is not that kind of actor, I feel like. But
yeah,
man,
this
was a good pick. I'm glad I picked it because like I had so much fun watching it.
I know, I really enjoyed rewatching it. I even got the 4K.
Yeah, see, I was wondering, I was going to ask you, like, I know they got to have some kind of sick-ass steelbook for this. Like, I might have to get it if they got one.
I didn't see one, but I saw that they did a 4K release, and I just went ahead and picked it up because I love this movie so much.
I have it on Blu-ray.
And it looks so good. It's a good transfer.
Even the Blu-ray's good, I feel like. But yeah, like, I cannot tell anybody. I know I say this on a lot of my picks, but if you have not seen this movie, do yourself a favor. Go check it out.
Go watch Fifth Element. Definitely worth it.
So good, man.
Mm-hmm.
A thrill ride from start to finish.
Did you finish Ozark?
No, not yet. I'm working on it.
I thought we were going to talk about it. But it's okay.
I'm sorry, bro.
It's all right.
I got a lot to watch.
Yeah.
I got like almost the whole season.
Oh, really?
I'm like 4 episodes in. The first part.
The first part.
The first part.
Yeah.
Well, like it's like that show, like you know how like you and your old lady have a show that like y'all just watch that together.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't watch it when you're not together.
Ozark is definitely that.
That's our show too, and like you know us being on different shifts, like we got a 4-day coming up, like we're gonna knock it out.
Yeah.
You know? So hopefully by the next episode we can have that chat.
I hope so because I want to talk about it so fucking bad.
Yeah, I know, man, and I heard it's great. Like it's so hard not finding fucking spoilers on it. So if I even hear anything that starts with an O, I just keep going.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to risk it.
Have you watched anything lately? Like we're going to start The Boys because that's our other show we watch together. So I don't know anything about it.
Good, dude. I've tried to get my wife into it, but she's just
not
like,
into it.
Yeah, she's just like, I'm just superheroed out.
I mean, I am, but The Boys take it to that level that I want superheroes to go to.
Somebody told us, I mean, I didn't agree with their opinion, but it's a friend of mine, and I liked what he said about it though. He's like, I like The Boys. He's like, y'all know me, I love superheroes. He's like, but to me, it's just a little too far. Like it just goes a little too till 11.
That's what I like about it.
And I said, I think that's what draws people in, but I get why it would turn some people off, you know, because if you're just like a purist of superheroes are supposed to be the standard, like, you know, they're the good, you know.
I just don't want to be so watered down. I want you to take them to that level.
Dude, I knew I was going to love that show when the first episode, when old boy turns in like the guy, Ant-Man guy, when he shrinks down and jumps in that chick's pussy. I was like, this is going to be the greatest show
At least you're
made.
consistent because that's what you said last time when we were talking about The Boys.
I said, this is going to be the greatest show that was ever made, dude. Yeah, I'm caught up on The Boy. Well, no, I'm sorry. I haven't watched the last Friday's episode.
I see.
I'm almost caught up.
No, we haven't started it yet. We're about to start because we finished Ozark. So,
well, when you finish The Boys, I'll finish Ozark. We can talk about both of them. Got you a new steelbook?
I did, but I want to talk about this first.
Yeah.
So, shout out to Victor.
Mm-hmm.
I want to welcome him to the War with Cinema family.
Welcome
which is
to the
just
mafia,
the three
bro.
of us now. We started up, I'm sure you've seen it posted already, Transcendence Cinema, where me and Victor are going to talk about art house movies, you know. And
the ones that aren't good. The ones that we don't review.
Yeah. But just stuff that like we think is interesting. It's going to spark an interesting conversation. Like the first one was very like about psychedelics and stuff like that. This steelbook I bought it for the podcast. It's called Flatliners. Have you ever seen it?
With Kevin Bacon?
Yeah,
I've seen it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
it flirts with the idea of death. So we're going to do that on the next episode. We're going to talk about like our thoughts on death and shit like that. So that's just the kind of conversations you kind of can expect from that podcast. I just wanted to give it a shout out.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, congratulations, man. I listened to a little bit of it earlier. Sounds good.
He said it sounds good, but
I got you a view, man.
You got a view?
Yeah, I got you a view, bro.
You just didn't want to hear us talk?
It's not that, dude. I was at work. You know, I didn't have all the time. I listened to about 10 minutes, you know. I know the movie's Altered State. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yep. Y'all were talking about how you're going to break it down.
Right.
There's a lot of potential there, folks. Y'all should definitely check it out, man.
Yeah.
And it's part of our war with family. So, like, you know, show some support, guys.
Right.
And we're doing 12 Monkeys next week.
Yep. We are going to be doing 12 Monkeys next week because
Bruce Willis for Bruce Willis.
Well, I bought it just because I wanted to have it because Arrow did a special release of it. And then you gave me The Fifth Element. And I was like, man, this makes me want to watch 12 Monkeys. And it's like, fucking why not? Yeah. Take a break from the thing that I was doing.
The little known directors.
Yeah, lesser known movies by popular directors. But after 12 Monkeys, I'll probably get back to that because I really want to do Duel.
I really don't know where I want to go next. Like, I want to go another big budget action, but
I was wondering. I was going to ask you, what were you thinking?
I don't know, man. I'm stuck, man. Like, I want to do a comedy, but I still like the big budgets, man.
I'm surprised you haven't given me any Kevin Smith movies.
I don't know, man. Like, I think what it is, I don't want to hear you talk bad about any of them because I love them all.
Yeah.
Very much. And I just don't handle constructive criticism when it comes to Kevin. Because if you don't think he's great, then I don't fuck with you.
Right.
Like, and I know you like Kevin Smith, so like it's okay.
Well, if we're in the Jersey Chronicles, you're fine.
Right.
But it's anything outside of that
I wouldn't give you fucking Tusk or anything.
Yeah, like Red State, like
I like Red State though, man.
Right, and there's a lot of people that do. I have my problems with it, but
I mean, it's not the best movie he's ever made, but right. I just thought it was cool that he took a shot at something because at the time, this is before all that other shit.
I've only seen it the one time, and it was like 15 years ago, so maybe I should give it another watch. So
yeah. I own it. I would be into watching it again.
Yeah, I would be open to watch it again to see if I still felt the same about it.
I just remember the old guy that played the cult leader. I just remember thinking, like, this guy is so fucking creepy. Like, he is killing it right now.
He was the best part of that movie, I remember.
Like, it almost didn't seem like that guy was fucking acting in some parts. Right. I was just like, wow, dude.
That's just how he is.
Dude,
he tapped into something sinister.
Yeah, it's very, very chilling. And I just remember I was like, Kevin Smith made this? Like, this doesn't seem like a movie he would make.
I remember feeling like this doesn't feel like a Kevin Smith movie, but that was kind of the point.
Right. Well, I also felt the same way when I watched Tusk. So I was like, this makes sense. He's awesome.
I still haven't watched Tusk.
Well, you know what? I will say this. Tusk is a fucking Academy Award winner compared to Yoga Hosers.
I was going to say, I literally put forth the effort to try to get through Yoga Hosers. I could not make it through that movie.
When the first time I saw him in that fucking sausage suit, I was done. I was like, I can't do it.
That is not just a bad Kevin Smith movie. That is one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
I don't know how he talked Johnny Depp into doing that shit. I guess it's because
their daughters are BFF. So,
and she did co-star in it. Daddy, please do it. Oh, it's gonna be fucking terrible.
Hated Yoga Hosers, but
I don't even like. Do they sell that fucking movie? Because you can watch it on YouTube for free. Like, it can't be. Like, did they even bother making that bitch on DVD?
I couldn't even say.
That movie bombed so hard with all audiences. He was planning on doing a third horror movie. Now, check it out. Called Moose Jaws.
I remember this, yes.
It was supposed to be a moose with like a shark mouth. And that sounded like a better movie than Yoga Hosers. Yeah. So I guess it's good in a way. I guess it's good it bombed as bad as it did because at least he went back to Jay and Bob movies.
Right.
You know.
Which is another one I haven't seen. I still haven't seen. Strike Back.
That's probably the one we'll do is Reboot.
Reboot? Yeah. Or I meant Reboot.
I know you see Strike Back. Yeah. But that's probably the one we'll do is Reboot just because you haven't seen it.
Right.
I'm excited for Clerks 3, man. I keep hearing like I need a trailer. I need something. Like I've been hearing about Clerks 3 since last year.
I just get all my news from you, so.
Well, they filmed it. They finished filming it at the end of the year. Oh yeah. It's in the can. It's good to go. Like Kevin Smith's been editing and shit. Like,
is he gonna do? I wonder if he's gonna do the tour promotion like he did for.
I mean, they made a fuck ton of money doing that shit for Reboot. So I mean, they might have stumbled onto something.
This is true.
But I think a lot of it was with Reboot is he wanted to be able to bring in and use the characters he wanted, but he had to be careful about how he did it because everybody but Mallrats is owned by Miramax.
Right.
So he couldn't use his Mallrat characters really, except for Brody, like, you know, shit like that. I don't know how he got it worked out, but
yeah.
Saban, the people that did fucking Power Rangers, they're the ones that made the movie. And I guess they didn't have the money they used to or something, but like they worked it out to where he could hawk it to theaters and it ended up getting some theatricals nowhere around here. I was pissed I couldn't go see it in theaters. That's the only, that and, you know, the Canadian ones.
Right.
But that's the only ones I've never seen in I've seen the other ones in theaters. I saw Strikes Back, Clerks 2. I mean, I was little when Clerks and Chasing Amy came out.
Well, yeah, that was an indie film anyway.
All the movies that I was of age to go see, I saw in theaters.
Right. I don't think I've ever seen a Kevin Smith movie in theaters. I might have seen Zack and Miri, but I'm not sure.
I remember me and my wife, that was the last movie we saw at the AMC before they tore it or turned it into a fucking Hobby Lobby. Really?
I do remember seeing like the posters for Zack and Miri, and I was like, oh, what is that? And I didn't know it was a Kevin Smith movie. I wasn't like I seen Kevin Smith movies, but I wasn't like a diehard Kevin Smith fan, you know? Yeah. So I didn't follow him like that. So I didn't know he did that movie.
I think to this day, I think the reason why I got into it and like why I fell in love with him so much was because Mallrats was the first one I saw.
Yeah.
I think if I would have saw Clerks first at the age I was, I don't think I would have.
You would have given a shit, yeah.
I wouldn't have grabbed it because
Clerks is like the Nick movie when it comes to like comedy, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
quintessential Nick movie.
But yeah, I just don't think I would have liked the vibes as much. But Mallrats just felt like it spoke to me.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what probably sparked my love for comics and collecting and shit, you know. But
that makes sense.
Yeah, I saw that, and then I saw Chasing Amy, which I fucking loved because those guys made comic books, which I thought was cool. Then I thought maybe that'd be something I'd want to do. But then I realized I couldn't draw. I had no artistic.
I knew you were going to say that. Like,
no artistic ability. I swear I feel like I could write comics. I just couldn't draw them, obviously. So like,
you could write stories.
So I'm saying, if they team me up with like a Jim Lee, I'd crush it, bro. I would.
Well, that's what it is Jim Lee teams up with writers and he draws them.
Yeah. Well, I think he writes his own now too.
No, I'm sure he does. But
actually, he's running DC Comics at the moment, or was, unless he got stepped down or something.
But I've always told you that, like, you should work on stories, writing your own stories and shit like that, because you have a very like creative mind of like making things up.
The newest one I've been playing around with, I want to make a Bizarro movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think it would be fantastic, bro. Because, like, you know how Superman's just, like, this idol and, like, perfection and everything? And then, like, the Bizarro would just be, like, the opposite of that. Like, the guy nobody gives a shit about.
Right.
And I want to use, like, parts of certain Superman storylines where, like, Lex Luthor only made Bizarro to defeat Superman. Mm-hmm. He made an opposite, like, his version of Superman. Well, in some of the comics, like, the Bizarro that we see is like not the first one. He's like the 14th one because the ones before that all had shit wrong with them and Superman would just beat the fuck out of him or kill him, like, you know, super easy. And I think that would be what the movie was about, is this one Bizarro for some reason is still alive. Like he's deteriorating and shit like the other ones, but there's something different about him because he's not dying. Like, you know, he could get his ass kicked by Superman, but he's still alive, you know, and like, I just think that would be a really cool story because now Lex Luthor wants to track him down and figure out why he lived and the other ones didn't, you know, because like that would be what it was. Like he has this big battle, like the movie would start off with him and Superman going at it. And then it would show him like getting knocked through a building or some shit. And he's like, yeah, in case you were wondering, I'm not the hero of this story. And then like it just shows him getting fucking pummeled by Superman. And then like, you know, he cuts to him like he's hiding off in the cut.
Yeah.
He's living like a fucking bum, you know, just like so nobody will bother him. But he like still does nice things for people. Like every now and then, like, it, you know, but he's a fuck up. So like every time he tries to help, he like fucks up even more. But I don't know. I think there's a story there that would be good.
Yeah, you should write it.
Definitely have to have some budget for that. But like maybe that could be Zach's return.
Well, really, it's about writing scripts and stories and selling them off.
Right.
To have someone else make them that has the money.
I don't know, man. I always thought that like writing a book was the way to go. You write the book and the book's a bestseller and it's badass and then they turn it into a movie. But then 9 times out of 10, they take the book and they turn it to shit and they only use this much of the book in the movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't want that. But then I thought, well, fuck, you could just write the screenplay and then they got no choice but to make what you wrote.
Well, they can change it as much as they want, but
as much money as they give me, they can change whatever they want.
I was going to say, you still get paid for it. So it's really just selling your idea.
That would be cool. I need a thing that like I could just talk and it writes when I talk.
What the fuck?
Is that thing?
Why can't you just write it down?
Because I'm fucking lazy, man. I don't like writing.
There is an app. It's called Dubscript Screenplay. You can download it and you can write scripts into it. Because I've used that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
I'm going to look into that.
Yeah.
Dubscripts, you say?
Dubscripts.
I will look into that.
Yeah, it's an app you can download on your phone and you can write scripts into it.
Yeah. I just I got all these fucking ideas. They just be falling.
Got to
out.
get them out somehow.
I gotta get them out.
Yep.
But yeah, I think that would be cool. I don't know, man. I would love to write a movie, man.
Yeah,
You don't even have to put me in the motherfucker. Just let me write it.
Could you imagine writing a script, selling it, and then it get made and you see it on the big screen? Like
written by Part of the Collector.
Yeah, you get your own credit in there.
Oh, I want a chair.
You can do
somebody
that.
Give me a chair with my name on it. Bro, you're barely in. That doesn't matter. Give me a chair. I'd be like a producer. They'd have to make me. So you're gonna have to give me something.
That's how Boondock Saints got started. He was a bartender. He wrote the script. It came across Harvey Weinstein's desk for some reason and made a movie out of it.
I mean, I get that guy's a fucking monster, but like, I mean, he did give a lot of people.
Well, he's not the only one that's happened to.
I get it. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, a lot of Kevin Smith's hits were made by that guy. You know what I mean? So I mean, as terrible of a person he was, he knew good movies.
Yeah.
You know? I'm not defending him. I don't know why I even brought that up, but I don't know. I'm just such a big Kevin Smith fan. And like when Kevin Smith said that like he would never cash another check from the Weinsteins, I was like, it's like all your best movies, bro. Like that's gotta hurt. Like,
I mean,
after a while, I mean, I'm sure they're not as big as they used to be, but like every time Clerks or anything plays on TV, he gets a check.
Yeah, but it's more about the people that he's hurt than anything.
And I think he said he donated it all to victims and shit like that. So that's cool. Yeah, Kevin's a good guy, man.
Right.
I would love to be in a Kevin Smith movie.
There you go. You heard it first. Kevin Smith, if you're listening.
Kev, we've been lifelong fans, bro. If you could get us both in, that would be awesome.
Nah, you can leave me out.
But if Greg doesn't or can't make it, I will go.
We'll be bouncers.
I'll put myself up in a hotel. I just need screen time, and you can't cut me out of it. That's it. That's the only demand I have. That you don't cut me out. I think it would be funny, like, if him and Jay, and then we were like some fucking doppelgangers, like some like opposite version, like some bizarro versions of them. Like, you know, because you could play the silent one. You'd be Silent Greg. Hard Silent Greg. Or like reverse it. Instead of using me as silent, you just yell everything.
Right. We're just opposite, and you're actually really well behaved.
Way back. Yeah, just like a super fucking
polite.
Hello, sirs. Yelling Greg, not silent Greg.
I don't think you know what you'd do with yourself if that shit came across your desk.
Yeah.
Kevin Smith wants to put you in this movie. You might die of excitement.
Oh man, I would shit my bed. Like it would be so cool. Somebody's fucking with me. Yeah. I need to see this in writing. Like,
that's a good April Fool's.
Oh, dude, don't you do that. You're a bastard if you do that. It crushed my soul.
It's so far away, you'll forget.
Oh, it would be fucked up, bro.
That would be fucked up.
You like pay money to get somebody that could sound just like Kevin Smith. Hey, this is Kevin Smith. Like,
I'll hire a guy to wear a really nice suit, come knock on your door, and he's like, hey, Kevin Smith sent me. He wants to know if you'll be in his movie.
I'm
you
an
just
agent.
have to sign this.
How do you find out where I live?
We know people.
We're Hollywood, bub. We can find anybody.
Anybody.
Especially you.
Wasn't hard.
Yeah, man. I have so many like dreams, but so little motivation.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
Yeah, well, I'm surprised you
I've
show
stayed
up
with.
to this.
I was gonna say I'm surprised we've stayed as consistent as we have.
We've been doing this for 3 years now.
Yeah, man, we're killing it. Like, shout out to everybody, man. Fucking Reservoir Dogs hit 4K. Dude.
It did, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah, shout out to all the hardcore fans that have stuck with us throughout this whole thing because we enjoy doing it. I'm glad you guys enjoy it. Cause
I know, man. I love it.
We have no.
I just, that's the coolest thing about it is, bro, you start with nothing. Mm-hmm. Start with no views, no follow, no subs, nothing, man.
Right.
And like the numbers that we do through the roof, man. Like,
we don't make money off this. We do it for the fun.
Yeah.
We just have fun with it. So anybody that enjoys it.
I was about to say, I hope y'all have fun because we have fun doing it. And I hope that at least like it shows through when y'all are listening.
Right.
But so 12 monkeys next week?
Yeah, 12 money. But 12 monies.
12 monies, baby.
We need 12 monies, but yeah, 12 monkeys next week. Until then.
Later, y'all.
Later.